I'd recommend taking these down because that is completely unlawful. As we just saw when I smoked the state of California, I'm asking you and you're making it up. You are. And it would also be leaving even like OC resin spray or gel, leaving it out in the open.
We're just telling you what your options are.
Well, that's not you're not actually saying I should do something illegal. So I need to get in, but there's nothing that's compelling you. You can't just make up stuff, right? So for example,
I'm not.
Well, you're enforcing something that's completely made up. So you can't do that.
Once policies are violated, we have to inform building management, and then following procedures would be police would be called.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get the building manager down here, and then we can call the police after that.
All right. I do have to point out we do have a policy in place about video recording.
Hey everyone, I am free. It's May 30th, 2024. I'm in the city of San Diego County, California. What? That's crazy. I'm always up in Washington and gloom and doom Seattle Metroplex area. Well, and the rest of the state too. But I came down here for some personal reasons for this weekend, and I thought while I'm here, I'll look into some things, and those things are, I want to be transparent about it. Not my typical tips and leads that I have a lot of up in Washington State. Tips and leads are, first of all, from several months ago, and they're kind of a broad, vague, hey, we got problems at like the San Diego City and County Administration Building, or the County of San Diego Materials Laboratory, both of which I've gone to and both of which had problems for sure. So that being said, these vague tips and leads seem to be quite accurate. I've had 100% return on the tips being valid, even though they're sort of overly broad. So that's what I'm doing here in California. So all those things, all those stories I'll be working on are involving that kind of stuff. So while I've got your attention, if you wouldn't mind, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would like, share, and subscribe. Hit that all notifications bell so you get my stories right when they're released. You can follow me on X at I.A.M Auditing, on Facebook at Inland Auditing Media. And if you want to help keep my feet on the streets, and I'm not kidding, look at this. Holes in my shoes. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of journalism. You can help by going to the links in the description for Cash App and Venmo, and I'll replace my shoes. I appreciate the help, everyone. All right, I am heading on over to the California State Department of Child Support Services. This is not the headquarters. It's that building over there you see with all the glass, all the windows. I just got tips and leads that they are quite tyrannical about being able to gather information about your experience there so that you can, go back and make an argument that something wasn't done right or whatnot. So that's what I'm going there for. It's just that straight, that simple. So I'll see you guys over there in just a moment. All right, here we go. Premises under video surveillance. Good reminder. So are they. Good, how you doing?
All right. Let's have you have any questions.
Okay.
Welcome to Child Support Services. I do have to point out we do have a policy in place about video recording.
Ooh, yeah. That's awkward. Yeah.
If you do have business to attend to, you're welcome to come in. Just we would have to ask that the equipment be not turned on at the moment.
Yikes. Yeah, I can't do that.
Gotcha.
We're kind of at a loggerhead here.
I'm sorry?
We're kind of at a loggerhead here. Oh, it's an old school term. I'm old, so. loggerhead. We're at sort of at a conflict point. What do we do now, kind of a thing. That's totally illegal. So here's what I recommend. In California, there's a very well, actually, it's not unfortunate. It's very fortunate. I don't know why I was going to say unfortunate. In California, there is a very good California state law. It's called the Bain Act. And the Bain Act makes anyone who participates, no matter how limitedly nor how excessively, involved in the unlawful denial or suppression of liberties, culpable criminally. So here's what I'd recommend.
So I can only just tell you what the policy is.
No, I know, but here's the thing. I would be very cautious, and I'm going to politely, civilly warn you that you don't want to do this. Enforcing that is going to put you in a position of where you're going to be working to suppress my liberties, whether you intend to or not.
Understood.
And the problem is you're now jeopardizing yourself with potential criminal liability and civil liability. So are you going to enforce that?
I have to, yes.
You have to, huh? No option for you?
Not for me, no.
Okay. I need to go in. Are you going to let me go in?
I cannot.
Okay. What happens if I go in?
So policy would be anyone who, once policies are violated, we have to inform building management, and then following procedures would be
Call the police
would be called.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get the building manager down here, and then we can call the police after that.
All right. If you could just wait here in the lobby area.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to take pictures and video and audio.
The way I've been instructed that once it goes beyond this point to
just can't talk.
I'm afraid so.
Gotcha. What happens if you do? Is it sort of one of those spontaneous combustion moments? You just sort of explode?
I increase the risk of liability issues.
Oh, well, if you're worried about liability, I would stop enforcing that illegal policy. Oh, you know what? I may have made a mistake. I need some clarification on something. If I made a mistake,
give me just a moment, sir. So I'm so sorry about that.
Is this a private company?
I'm not sure how to answer that.
You don't? Okay. All right, fair enough. Do you know, is this a private company? I just saw outside the, what is that? It says Department of Child Support Services. So it may have been that it was like a merger or an acquisition earlier today. Maybe Bill Gates purchased the California State Department of Child Support Services. It may be a private company at this point. And if it is, fair enough. Sometimes you get billionaires to just go around and buy state agencies and the moon, all sorts of stuff, right? So, is the building manager coming down?
I believe someone from DHR manager is on their way.
DHR manager. Oh, what's that?
I believe it's Department of Human Resources, but I could be mistaken.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I totally get the liability.
Close the door just
sure.
They don't want the AC or heating.
Oh, hey, I don't blame you on that, man. I totally appreciate where you're coming from with the concern of liability. If you are concerned with liability, I would be really, really concerned about the illegal sign there. Like I said, imagine if the policy, just for a moment, I know you can't respond to it, so I'll just monologue here for a moment. Imagine if there was a sign that it said, no black people allowed. Would you enforce that policy?
Wow, I am shocked. The security officer's inability to immediately answer that he would not enforce, in my hypothetical example, a horridly racist policies an employee of Allied Universal Security is shocking. The tortured, 4-second no response, as well as the clear discomfort that the security officer displayed, spoke volumes more so than likely any words ever could have. The First Amendment issue correlation here is simple. Both issues are of profound importance. Yet it appears he understands the problem with a hypothetical racist example, but does not seem to care about the First Amendment violation. This is a profound problem and something that I imagine Allied Universal Security should consider and respond to. I've reached out to Allied Universal Security for comment, but at the time of this video edit, it has not been responded to.
Yikes. I know it's a little awkward, isn't it? If they have that policy, you know that violates the Civil Rights Act of 1964, right? You know that. So then if we know that that is a violation of the Civil Rights Act, that you can't actually deny people for that, then why could you deny them something that's even higher up the food chain? Like, what could I think of that could possibly, oh, I know. First Amendment protected activities. what if, which is a law, the First Amendment's actually a law, it's a constitutional law. What if that said you can come in here? What if, hypothetically, since I love hypotheticals, what if there was a Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruling in Oregon last July 3rd of 2023 in which the Attorney General of Oregon was sued by Project Veritas, and the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that you can record in any public building? What if that happened? I know I'm just telling fantasy stories right now, but what if that actually did happen? Hold on a minute. It did happen last July 2023.
This case here just mentioned, Project Veritas versus Schmidt 2023, is a landmark free speech victory for First Amendment protected activities, which began in Oregon. The ruling from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals made it crystal clear. You may absolutely record surreptitiously in public places, i.e., you may secretly record people in public without their consent. This is because there is no expectation of privacy in public. It cannot be made any clearer than is found in this ruling. So, let's take this one step further to its logical conclusion. If one can record surreptitiously in public, can you record openly in public? Well, yes. Yes, you can. Was that specifically addressed in Project Veritas versus Schmidt? No. No, it was not. So you may find some lawyers and other pundits and whatnot saying it wasn't specifically discussed, so therefore we don't know the intent of the court. If you can't puzzle yourself through that riddle, I have serious questions as to your ability to understand basic concepts. I think anyone finding themselves in the Ninth Circuit and having that be the basis for an arrest is simply the most profoundly lucky litigant in the Ninth Circuit in quite some time.
The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which controls judicially California, said you can't do that. Ooh. That's
So for
the definition of awkward.
For clarity, can't do that in what type of building? Because I do remember you asking if it was private building or not.
Yeah, is this like a privately owned building? Like, for example, 7-Eleven is a privately owned building. If you go into a 7-Eleven, you say,
to my knowledge, the building itself is privately owned.
Gotcha, but it's leased by the state, right?
County.
By the county. Well, that's weird because, yeah. Well, the county might lease it, but then they lease that to the state because the Department of Child Support Services is a California state office. Oh, sure, yeah. Just tell me when to move and I'll turn it back on for you. But yeah, that's the California State Department of Child Support Services. So that's a state office. So, like I was telling your coworker there, unless maybe Bill Gates or someone else that's really wealthy just came in and said, hey, California, I got more money than I have common sense, and just bought this, like straight up just said, I'm just going to buy the Department of Child Support Services. Maybe he was just dying to own that. I mean, who wouldn't want to own it, right? And all of a sudden, he just owns it privately. He says, hey, no more business in here because it's all private. It's like a 7-Eleven. It's like a hotel. You can't come in here whenever you want. But unless that happened, I'm thinking we're kind of not at a loggerhead. And what we're really getting is two security guards working for Allied. Have you worked for Allied too? Universal? Okay, yeah. Two private security contractors complicit with the California State Department of Child Support Services to, what's that called? I forget. Deprivation of rights under color of law. That's right. I think that's in Title 18 of the United States Code, Section 241, 242. I'm just making up numbers, but you could Google it and see if I'm right. I'm just saying, right?
I wouldn't argue it.
Yeah, probably a good move. But I would be desperate. I would call if I were you. This is what I sincerely, even though I'm being a little cheeky here, I would sincerely recommend calling your boss and making sure that Allied Universal wants to do this. But you know what you do get if you violate rights? You get Seventh Amendment lawsuits. So that's fun. That's fun, right? Any value of $20 or more, you remember the Seventh Amendment. So, gosh, what are they up on the 972nd floor or something like that? It's taking a long time to get here.
chain of communication could be.
Oh, I can tell you what it is. Department of Human Resources, unless the executive director of Human Resources is an attorney, which a lot of them are, unless they are an attorney, they're calling their attorney right now in a mad scramble to fix this not good problem right now. Yeah.
Hopefully they have something for it.
But you guys didn't wake up this morning expecting to go to a soup sandwich of a facility. Yikes.
Sorry?
A soup sandwich of a facility. Yeah, you know, what happens to a sandwich, it gets messy and gooey and yeah, it falls apart. It's not a good sandwich anymore. And by the way, what are you guys screening for?
Weapons and paraphernalia.
Weapons and paraphernalia. What do you mean by paraphernalia? Like drug paraphernalia?
It could include that.
Gotcha. So you guys are working on Fourth Amendment issues to ensure that if anybody is breaking the law, that the authorities get called? So if somebody came in with a crack pipe, what would you do?
That is a question.
Would you guys call the police? So are you saying this building, like if somebody, let's say in the state of California had a carry and concealed weapons permit, would you let them in with their sidearm if they have a carry and concealed weapons permit?
I'm afraid not.
You wouldn't? Okay. What restricts access to somebody who has a weapons permit to carry a sidearm concealed? Not saying I don't have one.
I'm not familiar enough with the.
Wouldn't you think that would be something you'd want to be up to? Because you can tell somebody they don't have a Second Amendment liberty here.
Weapons are, in general, are prohibited. Give it just a moment. Hold on, just a moment.
I don't see anything about that. Do you know where the sign is for prohibited weapons?
We actually don't have any signs.
What? So they're not prohibited.
10-4. Is that all that was said? Is that all that was said? Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
I think those are the loudest ambulance sirens I have ever heard in my life.
Acoustics here.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, is that what it is? Okay, fair
Well,
enough.
that's sort of guess.
Gosh, because I was like, that is
They
crazy.
come by every day. So I've been given the green light to let you in.
Oh, okay.
Anything, so we would. So all that's gonna set off the metal detector.
Yeah. Well, I've got pepper spray too, so
Yeah, that
I
would
gotta
have
have.
remained
Yeah, there's nothing that
outside.
restricts access to pepper spray in a state building, or a county building, or a city building. Now, California Penal Code does cover that if you go to a courthouse. This is not a courthouse, unless are you saying there's is there a courtroom in here?
That I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, because I need to. You know what I'm actually happy to do? Seriously, I don't have a problem with this. If you want, I can just leave the canister right here with you guys.
So that's part of the follow-up procedure for that. So we can't hold on to any objects for visitors due to liability issues. If you're okay with it, you could always stash it in one of those planters outside, or if you have a vehicle in the parking lot. We just can't
I
hold on
walk
to items.
everywhere. I either walk or parachute in. Sometimes I've been known to just sort of like halo jump from 40,000 feet and then just land on a building.
Oh.
Sometimes you got to do that as a journalist. So now that's interesting. So this has been cleared up that it's. Is it just because it's me? You know who I am, don't you?
I'm Dept.
That's what it is. You know who I am, and so now you're like, we're gonna make an exception for him. But if it was anybody else, you'd be like, nah, we're not doing this today.
I just take orders. I just take orders. I just take orders.
Ja, das tun Sie, Herr Sicherheitsbeamter.
Okay.
So if you're willing to leave it outside, anywhere outside the building.
I can't. That'd be littering, and it would also be leaving even like OC resin spray or gel, leaving it out in the open.
We're
like
just
that.
telling you what your options are.
Well, that's not a. You're not actually saying I should do something illegal. If we could get the DHR executive to come down, because like I said, I need to go in and.
Sorry, I forgot to inform you that earlier. So what I've been told is that they're all unavailable at the moment.
Okay.
That's why I've been.
So here's the
green light to
problem.
come in.
I need to go in, but you can't restrict my access to having that spray in my pocket inside this building.
I just have to tell you what I've been instructed
Yeah.
to
So
tell you.
I'll tell you what. How about this? Let's meet halfway. I always like having a good let's meet halfway kind of scenario, right? Let's do. Oh, go ahead.
Just a moment.
Yeah, you bet.
Hello, sir.
So first of all, there's no signage. So there's no signage that says it's restricted. There's nothing in the California Penal Code that says it's restricted. There's nothing in the California State Constitution that says it's restricted. Now, granted, back in the day with James and George and Jimmy and all those guys when they made the Constitution, they didn't have pepper gel back then, so they didn't list that kind of stuff. But it's sort of kind of wrapped up in something anyways. So let's do this.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Are you from the Human Resources Department? You're not. Okay. I was hoping to get someone down here from EHR. So I need to get in, but there's nothing that's compelling you. You can't just make up stuff, right? So for example,
I'm not.
well, you're enforcing something that's completely made up. So you can't do that. Like again, going back to my earlier example.
I'm just going to do my job.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm
I
going to put all my
understand it can be difficult to accept.
I'm going to put all my stuff in there. I'm going to walk through. I'll get cleared, and then I'm going to reach for my stuff. And then what are you going to do?
Would that be including the pepper spray?
Yeah.
That would be bringing the pepper spray beyond the point of entry.
Okay.
We would have to go back to those other steps that I brought up earlier about calling the police.
Okay. Let's do that. You guys want to call the police in?
So what you're telling us is you're going to refuse to comply with building policy as it's been stated to you?
Oh, 100%. Actually, I really like to commit to things, so I'll say 110%.
All right.
All right. Let's do it.
Before we begin, would you, for the time being, step outside of the glass doors?
Why?
Just for security purposes.
What security purpose? We're just standing here talking. I mean, look, I'm trying to work with you guys here, but the problem is you're saying you're being compelled to do something illegal. So, yeah. You gonna call the police?
I'm afraid so.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine.
In the meantime,
Yeah.
if you would step outside the front door.
Are you effectively trespassing me?
I can't answer that. I'm just going to make the phone call.
No, are you making a request for me to leave, or are you ordering me to leave? I'm just trying to understand what you guys are doing, because it's an important distinction. If you guys are trying to just ask me to leave, like request, that's different than saying, hey, you gotta go, man. So are you guys saying you gotta go? You're saying you gotta go?
I'm not answering.
You're not.
No.
So you're not ordering me to leave.
I'm what?
You're not ordering me to leave.
Wow.
I'm not answering any questions.
Okay, well, if you're not ordering me to leave, then what's the problem? I'm really.
My colleague here has answered your question.
Do you
so
see
I'm
the?
not gonna ask- I'm
Do you
not
see
gonna
the
answer
quandary? Well, you're a security officer too. Do you see the quandary here?
No, I just got it.
You don't. Okay, fair enough. Hey, let's catch you up to speed, man. I don't want you to be not up to speed. So here's the thing. I'm trying to get in here because I've got business to do in the building, right? And we just learned that due to confidentiality purposes, audio video recording is not allowed. Thank you. We know that's not lawful because your coworker called up and spoke to somebody, and that person said, yeah, you can process them through. Now, so we know one policy is unlawful, right? Because they just did that. But then when I'm saying I've got a propellant for personal defense, pepper spray, which is lawfully allowed to be carried, now all of a sudden I'm being told that can't be done here. But there's not even a sign for that. There's a sign for audio video recording, but there's no sign for anything else. You guys are just saying because
That's what we were told.
of the magical thing that somebody made up? Who made it up?
We were told,
Ja, das tun Sie, Herr Sicherheitsbeamter.
and so we're enforcing.
Who told you? See, this is the problem. You see what I'm doing? I'm asking you and you're making it up. You are.
I don't have to further give you more information on that.
I mean, I don't want to see your lying because I can't really prove that you're lying. But at this point, you are just making it up. You don't even know who told you. So,
I'll either deny or claim if I can.
okay.
Sorry, I should inform you of the call. So I was informed that the report has been sent. Whether or not officers will be here in a speedy manner, I don't know.
Well,
you may
light,
be waiting for a while.
yeah, in light of this being the crime of the century, I'm thinking they're going to be here in about under 45
It
seconds.
could
I
be.
mean, this is top shelf stuff. This is where you see like O.J. Simpson being chased down the 5, right?
It could be a wait.
Since it is going to be a little bit of a wait, how long is this building open for?
Till 5 o'clock.
Till 5 o'clock. Okay, tell you. I've actually got to go get some B-roll footage outside the building. So I'll just go get some B-roll footage, come back, and then I'll just wait with you guys. How about that?
That's all right.
Now, is it going to be 1 or 2 SWAT teams showing up?
Well,
You think they'll have helicopters and machine guns, or just the SWAT teams?
you're kind of tall. They may send 3.
There's 3 SWAT. Wow, that's. Gee, did I just get the cutoff at 6'2"? They're just like 6'2" and higher. 3 SWAT teams. We don't even mess around. Okay, I'm gonna get some B-roll footage and then I'll be back in a few. Okay, appreciate it. Now, guys, don't be silly. I'm gonna get the B-roll footage. Let's not lock the doors. That's unlawful.
No, we can't do that.
Okay, fire marshal code, I'm guessing, right? All right, I'll be back in a few. I'm just gonna go get the B-roll footage and then we'll see if the boys in blue show up, and I don't know what'll happen. Like I said, helicopters, might even be F-16s. I don't know. It's hard to say these days. I'll be back in a couple of minutes here. Back to the building here. Well, thanks.
Get the door. Sorry.
Oh, I can get it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Well, I'm kind of the one that stuck it open, right? I mean, I gotta be polite enough to go and close the door.
You get a taste of what we deal with about 50 times a day.
That's all right. I got told the whole barn door thing when I was a kid enough to where it's stuck.
Yeah,
I just didn't realize it was open until you guys told me the barn door's open. And then went back.
So we are still waiting.
By the way, I went and got that B-roll footage. You know there's a homeless camp down there, right?
We are aware.
Fair enough. Figured you probably knew this. Let me know. Why do you guys have the signs that say private property? It's not private property.
When it comes to all that stuff, I'm afraid the simple answer
Mysteries of the universe.
is above our pay grade.
Would you say it's fair that we'd probably have to get some of the ancient diviners of Rome or Greece to get together and use like wizardly magic to try to discern the nature of these no trespassing signs saying private property? You think it requires ancient magic? What's the problem? Would you say it requires ancient magic? You don't. Okay. Fair enough.
I'm sorry. I believe we all could give the approval. Because to our knowledge, the exterior of the building does not have policy in place. To our knowledge, the exterior of the building does not have policy in place. Of course.
Now that was interesting. That was interesting. There's not a policy in place, but you see now. See, I want this to be actually, and I don't mean this in an impugning way. I'm not impugning you, okay? I want this to be a good like learning moment, because here somebody told you, right? Whether it's your boss or the head of the building or whatever, somebody told you that you can't record audio and video. But then, when I invoked the righteous might of James Madison himself, brought the First Amendment into this thing like a bullet train, all of a sudden, the building management acquiesced. I wonder why. Because it's illegal to prevent audio video recording. There's also no policy here. That's an unlawful policy, which means it's an unlawful policy. It's garbage. It doesn't matter. He didn't just make an exception for me because I'm 6'2" and require 3 SWAT teams to stop me from entering the DCSS building, right? He was going to process me through because it's unlawful to prevent me from accessing my building. I own it. It's mine. It's also yours and yours Everybody else is in the building, so everybody owns it, right? Or leases it. If it's owned privately and it's leased, they still own the money that's being paid to the private property manager, who in turn gives up his property rights to an extent so that the people can enjoy the utility of this building for which the taxpayers' money pays for. Tell you what, do you want better? I got a magic solution for you guys. I'll go through security. Whatever's left behind, I don't know what that means. So
I would need you to explain. Can you explain that?
yeah, it just means you guys will have to, I don't know what your policy says about things being left behind. Now look, I'm putting both my cameras down, they're on.
Things being left behind.
Don't attack me. Hello.
Hi.
I got a quick question for you. So what is it 3 floors in this building?
For the public, this is the area, so you can.
But there's a total of 3 floors, is that?
I don't know.
Gotcha.
I
What
can't
are on the higher floors? Is that just like management and
I can't
workspace?
disclose information besides what I see here. Do you need any information about child support? Any services?
well, I
that
mean,
we
yeah,
provide?
about the facility.
Just the only situation is I can provide you information about customers. They can use the computers. We're here to help them.
Yeah.
We're always, providing our best service.
Uh-huh.
And we have pretty much. That's it.
Gotcha. So who would I talk?
You can go online if you want. There's a computer. You can check whatever services we provide, and it's a lot of general information about all the child support information that is available for the customers.
Gotcha.
And the public.
Gotcha.
You're the public, so we welcome
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just really curious at this point. What's on the higher floors,
I'm a
though?
little curious too.
Gotcha. Well,
Yeah.
let's be curious together then. Who would I talk to get answers about
I
what's
would
up
just
above?
say check in our computer and you can see because we have all the information displayed.
Gotcha.
We have also social media.
Gotcha.
We have a lot of different ways that you can communicate with our department, so you're welcome to do
Gotcha.
that.
So could I speak to a manager then?
I don't have anybody available.
Oh, there's no managers available. It's no
I'm
manager
not
Thursday.
Right now. I would say if you don't mind, I'm trying to check in
Well,
somebody.
yeah, I'm trying to get help.
Yeah, I already said.
Well, yeah, I need to help beyond that. So if I could get a manager, it'd be great.
Thank you.
All right, so I can't get one then.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so I did that one already. So I'm gonna go into the little shop.
Hey, ma'am, so I got a question. It looks like security can answer more questions than customer service here. Do you know why that is the case? Because they were able to tell me it is like workspaces upstairs, but that's a pretty simple answer.
Okay.
How come I couldn't get an answer on that?
I already answered what I answered. Thank you.
Yeah, so just no ability to answer beyond that. Are you getting a manager to come down?
I messaged somebody.
Oh, great. Okay, thanks for doing that. I appreciate that. Was that the manager?
I messaged, but I don't know how long it's gonna take.
Could be till 10 o'clock. Gotcha.
No,
I'll go ask that
I
guy.
don't think so.
Okay.
It's the same window, so
Okay.
once we submit it, it's.
Hey, sir, do you know how I can go about getting a hold of
I
a
have no
manager?
answers for any questions. I'm new here.
No answers at
Nope.
all? So if something happened, do you know who you would contact as a manager?
I cannot tell you.
It's just totally random. You're kind of on an island all by yourself?
No comments.
No comment. That sounds lonely, man. I'm sorry that that's the way it is here for you. Do you feel lonely?
No comments.
No comment. Ow.
So fresh, so new.
Freedom!
It's It's all for you.
All for you. Freedom.
Keep your ear to the ground.
Talking about the freedom.
It's the best show in town.
Let's show it down. Freedom. Well. Freedom.
I'll give you freedom. Yes, it's right.
Freedom.
Start right now.
Freedom.
Get your freedom tonight.
Freedom. Well. Freedom. Come on, everybody. Young, old, all you lovers. This is our time to rise back from the sand and claim our freedom. Talking about the freedom. Let yourself be free.
I'll give you freedom. Yes, it's right.
Freedom.
Start right
Talking
now.
about the freedom.
Get your freedom tonight.
We did make the call. However, we're not making you wait around for nothing. When it comes to them upstairs, I don't know. However, when it comes to the police, like I said, it could be a priority issue.
Yeah, probably. All right.
Sorry
well, look.
about the wait.
Oh, it's all right. That's all right. I'm at work anyway, so it doesn't. I get paid to do this either way, so it doesn't matter. So, what I would recommend is to have a conversation with management. Tell them that the passport offices are still open for North Korea and Russia. So if they still want to go to a more constrained land where they don't actually love freedoms and they can't do things and then really get tortured and stuff, that's the whole Eighth Amendment thing, right? I think applications are still open. So if they want to go to just kind of like communist land, they could do that. But I'd recommend taking these down because that is completely unlawful. As we just saw when I smoked the state of California. Wow. Obviously, this is not a priority issue. I'm not going to hang around for the police who are never going to show up in the first place. They're never going to show up because they know this is not a crime. They cannot do anything about it. And they're just trying to control things there. So the lesson has been learned. And there you go.